Thank you so much for staying with 95.9 area in for your passionate, trustworthy, and radio. Welcome to the 27th of 93 edition of the show. And a lot happened over the weekend. And to believe you had time, nonetheless, to just relax, unwind, reboot, recharge, and give Monday the best start of the day. King out Monday, congratulations to all those who been your advocate of Nigeria today with an SAN. I know Itodo, you have to be careful because I can sue you.
I know.
You've
been giving me the heads up.
I know, right?
Ready. I have to be careful these days. What I feel like.
Right?
Yeah.
So congratulations to FR Onoja Esin. He was conferred and into inner. Is that what they call it when you become a senior advocate of Nigeria? Get to that in a second. Congratulations to you. Lawyer that I know for sure has made the B-League at last.
Well, my listening, DC, I'm not sure what happened, how we offended, but come on, do better now. Because send from Friday to Monday.
Oh dear. I want to say it was because of the rain on Saturday, but it was Friday. I will not blame it on the rain.
It was really poor. They brought it about a few hours before I left the house today, and it's been a bit epileptic for now. Being that it's something you're going to fix in time. But then us is even going to make it easier, maybe ahead. Because of what's happening, so we can better prep for power. But
yeah,
so far so good. Brilliant.
All right then. Well, Chile really came as a bit of a surprise for someone like me because I thought we're in November. Why should it be in November? And it was torrential rain. Some parts of town had a little bit of flood building up, devastating level. But I'm sure it interrupted a number of Saturday plans to the shopping, Saturday picnic or whatever for those who didn't see it coming. On the round table. No, not at all.
Okay. That would be something.
That would be because you made us laugh actually, but you missed the joke. And talking about the weekend, the trade-off of prisoner continue between Israel and Hamas today, and they are working seriously with all partners, the US, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, to see if they can extend the ceasefire to see how more prisoners and hostages can be swapped. Netanyahu will say if they can release 10 hostages every day, then they're open to extension of the ceasefire. So far, so good with all of the extra enjoying.
Yeah, they're also looking for an extension of the season, make it a bit longer so they will achieve all the goals they've done. Fingers crossed. A lot of people hoping back to the back and forth they've been having in a few weeks, that things like the way they are right now without losing any more land or all that. And the president of the US also shared his thoughts about the war in Gaza. He hoped that things don't have to be the way right now. So let's just hope that others in mind are doing what they can to ensure that they don't go back to the way prior to the ceasefire in the region. All
right. So, bring you up to speed with some happenings right here in Nigeria. Officially welcome you to the round with the look at some of the big stories driving conversation. Kimberly and Itodo, and we've got our guests comfortably seated. Also looking sharp, looking dapper. We've got Senator with us. He's a journalist, Global Sentinel paper. Welcome to the show, Senator.
Thank you, Kim.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you on the show.
Yes. Weekend, I'm sure you had time to rest of the rain and interrupt any of your plan. We just came into...
Yeah, it really rest when you have two beautiful kids running around the house. But it's all good, your fatherhood.
All right.
But at least I also have a rest in a way. But weekend is weekend. So I have to find a way of cherishing the week. Even though there may be some within that space. But thank God. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get started. You know, now the judiciary has been taking I wouldn't say because opinion rich and diverse. We talk about the jury, and given the fact that the outcome of presidential election petition tribune to the appeal court and some of the head to the Supreme Government, there have been all kinds of thoughts on how the Supreme Court, the judiciary general, and the confusion in Kano, confusion in one court saying it's a pre-election matter, another court saying it's pre and post matter. And, the parting out which link, a lot of people seem to think, hold up a little, what's going on with the judiciary? But, the Senate has got some thought about that. Oluka, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, says the judiciary would not replace the law with sense and opinion of the public. Opinions, a lot of sentiment and opinion tied to the of the judiciary at the moment. He spoke on Monday's session to mark a new legal year and swearing in the new senior advocates of Nigeria. And injustices, the CJN said the law remains the law, whose interest is involved in all we do and interpret. We should endeavor to sever the three income from logic and assumption from fact, he said. Never be overwhelmed by the action or loud voices of more crowd, now being to confuse law with sentiment or something in our cases. Nevertheless, ordinary and unwarranted utterance are bound to others, but the judge himself. There's what should be asked and what should not be asked should be also as justices to be above board and put during adjudication. Given the fact that people have so much to say about outcome and the concerns as to is there someone pulling the strings, is the judiciary independent as an arm of government as it should be, or is it just emotional at the end of the day that they are on top of their game?
Yeah, first of all, laws are meant for people around. So the laws are supposed to have the interest of the people. And if the people begin to rise and say this rule is actually in the interest of the people, then the judiciary should be listening. There's something that is called the law of public opinion, which also weigh heavily. And with due respect to the CJN, he may be dwelling on the technicalities, which is also the two-part. Either you come to that, you lose the touch of the people, or you look at what is the best interest of the people. So, and most times when you look at some of these issues, And that's after God, the next is the Supreme Court or the law. They can sway any way they want. They can sway the judgment in favor of how they feel. They can sway it in favor of how, whatever the technicalities are. But the challenge now is that the laws are beginning to oppose themselves. And this is where people are beginning to end some interesting narrative, like the Supreme Court ruled differently and they are ruling another. No opposition to one court ruled. And you find the hierarchy when it comes to Nigerian constitution that, okay, if there's a law of that is superior to another court, say Supreme Court versus Appeal Court. The Appeal Court should bow or whatever decision should be to whatever Supreme Court has ruled. And people are seeing, their opinion as if Supreme Court has ruled on this matter and Appeal Court impose it. Their ruling seems to oppose what the Supreme Court have ruled. This is where I feel that CGN should be about, because there are a lot from the electoral tribunal that seems to be contrary to what the court has already ruled, and this is where people are getting confused. Okay, what is actually the law in this system? Listening to this morning to one of the sessions, we are at the university saying, right now I don't even know what my students. The stand of the court is on this issue, or the judiciary. There are different opinions. The judiciary is saying the same, the electoral tribunal or the appeal court is different. So this is where the issue, the judiciary is actually do that thing to put their in order, and so that the public should actually know where are they standing. Are they standing here? Are they here? Right now, the court of public opinion is known, but what is not known is the judiciary, because the appeal court, some of the appeal judgment is in opposition to what the judiciary already said. The judiciary said the election matters should be the interest of another party. If it's within the party, they even call it
exactly.
And now, all parties using it as a leeway, and people are bringing different interpretations about it. So people get more comfortable about it. So we hopefully, when it gets to the Supreme Court, where the CG and elsewhere, you bring more clarity to this. So that's why I said, okay, at the end, the law is actually made for people, not the other way around. So even in whatever law, it's also law public opinion. It counts, because at the end,
what does it influence?
Depends.
I'm going to add this.
It counts, but it can depend on if the interests of the elites weigh heavy on the part of the judiciary, not count. But if it's in the overall of the people, and the jury feel that they should take their judgment based on what is overall interest of the people, then it counts. But if they feel, okay, no, whatever that suits the powers that be or the elites, the technicalities come to play a big role. Is then you feel, okay, the interest doesn't count. So this is where it is. That's why I say in the presidential system, or in any democracy, that God, the next is the Supreme Court judges, because they can decide, they can do anything, and whatever they declare becomes law. In fact, the judiciary also have, when we are the judiciary also has a way of making law through the announcement. So after legislature, the judiciary, through the pronouncement, even make law. It becomes a judicial or precedence. So whereby they have issues. It might not have been ruled before. It might not have been adjudicated before. They look at it holistically and decree. Once they pronounce and make a judgment, it becomes a law. Until the legislature decide and say, okay, this doesn't make a law. Hence, what they did, that their ruling becomes law. It binds, especially the Supreme Court. So other courts have to abide that ruling. This is where people are beginning to. Is it that the Supreme Court ruling doesn't tie in? Is it that the electoral now can flout while the Supreme Court rules, or whatever the appeal court can flout whatever Supreme Court rules? This is where people are being until. So those luckily those are some of those rulings, like the governorship, the Supreme Court. So people are waiting to what the Supreme Court rules.
All right, let's go on a very quick break. When we return, we'll look at more trending stories and get your input. Stay with us.
On 95.1 Nigeria Info. Your mic is always on. Let's talk.
Life is sweet.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
Audio Jungle.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
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 This is Nigeria Info.
PC says, good afternoon to you there. The judiciary should not be involved in politics and allow the rule of law take its place. Putting aside the opinion of the public and not being partisan, the will of the citizen should be allowed to be decided through the ballot and not the tribunal, up and down turning, he said. And Harry Bob also... Is this part of our conversation? This is something totally different. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info ABJ. You can follow us, the conversation, and leave your thoughts there. So we're talking about the judiciary, the CJN, the conferment of SAN on some renowned lawyers today. It said the judiciary cannot pander to emotions and sentiment, and he also called on the judges to be impartial and fair in their verdict, that it should be the hallmark of every single judge, that fairness and all of that. But, you know, we're talking with our guest senator, wondering about the place of emotions. If a lot of people, the narrative is strong on one end that the judiciary is not being as fair as it should be. I mean, it's something that should be addressed, something... I don't know, either the machinery of the judiciary or a few people trying to because it's the last hope of the common man. The last thing, you want to have an impression is the judiciary is not balanced or is being bought off. It tells something really awful about the people generally if they can sell out that easily. So let's see how it goes when they get to the Supreme Court, see which one will correct itself and which one stays.
Talking about emotion, you cannot divert emotion from humanity. We are emotional beings. And talking about emotion, even the judiciary itself as an arm of government was established came to be through emotion, because people began to protest about king becoming everything, becoming both the executive, the judge, the jury, and whatever, that it need to be separated. You need to have, it's the people that revolted and said, look, we are tired. We don't want to be oppressed. We don't want one human being deciding everything. That you need, all these functions need to be separated, headed by different body or woman. So it's the same emotion. Emotion, it depends on how you channel that emotion. So when we talk emotion, let's not look at it from negative term.
All right.
Emotion can be a positive force for change. So it's depending on how you look at it, because all these reforms you are seeing, all this progress is because it's emotion that leads to it. So it depends on how you respond to that. If you respond to it positively, begin to listen. Okay, what are people saying? You can sieve it. Not every maybe obviously not every emotion, not everything. But there are definitely things you can listen to. Those cacophony of voices, you can listen to what is called voice of reason. So there are some positive force you can look at. From there, you begin to get reforms. You begin to respond to it. That's where you get judicial reform, parliamentary reform, reform of any kind, even as progression of human beings from emotion.
But the concern with that is if the judges were to get emotional about the cases happening or about issues happening, they won't be able to look at these issues critically. And also, that aside, how can they get back the public trust and confidence? Because right now it's as though they're not holistically independent. People have already formed opinions about what they are or what they do based on some of the rulings that we've seen in recent times. So if you could just touch on both.
Yes, it's not the judges themselves becoming emotional. It's the judges responding to the emotions of the people. So the emotion I'm talking about is not from the judges themselves, because the judges also need to be live above board. They need to be sound so that they can judge well fairly. So, but I'm saying emotion from the side of the people, not from the judges themselves. So, but the judges need to factor in the emotions of the people and try to, listen, these emotions they express, is it out of the blue? Is it abstract? No. That's why what I was saying from the beginning, I said the laws are meant for the people and not the other way around. So when they listen, because this, whatever judgment they're making is in the overall best interest of the people. So, but it doesn't mean that sometimes majority is not always right. That more people said something doesn't make it right. Sometimes minority can be right, and that's what judges, and that's why they need to live above board, and that's why people place them there. Before you reach that stage, you should be able to have some level of there should be level of training, and that's why when they don't seem not to get it right, people seem to get disappointed. And like you said, they are the last hope of every man, whether common, you call it common, or even those in the high places. So judiciary is very, very important. That's why any ruling or pronouncement from judiciary should be something that should be above board.
All right.
Yes.
Let's get opinions of people on the story before we move on to the next. Call us up on 0700 951 0000 or 0809 5974869, or you can call us via WhatsApp on 0809 9930137.
Good afternoon.
Oops, sorry about that. And let's see here. Oh dear. Okay, that went off. But the lines are available now. Call us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
My name is.
Your name is what?
Jacob.
Jacob is my name.
Go ahead, Jacob.
I just want to comment on what I've just discussed concerning the judiciary. The way I look in the country.
Jacob, we would love to get your take, but your connection is really bad. I can barely make out what you're saying.
Okay, let me talk louder because I'm not talking loud. Are you hearing me now?
Go ahead.
What I'm saying that with the judgment, different judgment of the same case, I'm of the opinion that the law, I look at it, somebody standing in front of a tree. So you view the tree, where you stand must have an angle from it. Must have an angle from it. That's why I see how the judges are giving this different judgment from the same case. Because when they look at it from the angle which they understand, they will give the judgment according to that, which is the angle I'm saying. So if I stand in the front of the tree today, that is on the ground.
All right, Jacob. Thank you. Yeah, connection is poor. We tried.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Itodo and Kim.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. I also great to get in the studio.
Good
My name
afternoon.
is Bola. I'm calling from this area now. Well, the Chief and Justice statement. Truly, to some extent, we can be, as citizens, we can be sentimental, we can be emotional in the way we have to issues. But it is not possible for everybody that has shown one investment or the project on the outcome of the judgment from the different states in the recent week. So be all emotional in their submission. It's not possible. Do you understand? I want to believe that you see, in this part of the world, people are not held accountable for them professional mistakes. That's why people can do a lot of things and get away with it. For instance, the Chief Justice that is giving us this rhetoric. It was still some time ago, hobnobbing with politicians in River State. Not just hobnobbing, not just dining with them. He came out and made some very political statements. Ordinarily, in other crimes, the Chief Justice should not be that. It should not be on stage now. Do you understand? So if he can come out to tell us, if he can, tell me as a Nigerian that he has not seen anything on forward in all the judgments coming from Plateau State, Nasarawa, Kano, and some other places. If you want to tell me as a Nigerian that he has not seen anything wrong with those judgments, my people, then I will tell you that, look, there's problem in Nigeria.
All right.
Look. You're not going to stay in that place for forever. And that's one thing so you're right.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Let's look at a few messages.
All right, Oludade Abiodun right here says, I totally agree with the Chief Justice of the Federation. Public opinion is miles and miles away from law. Forget about what people are saying. Law is law. I want to seriously disagree with your guest because opinions are diverse. So therefore, you are not judged based on what a section of society are saying. That's what Oludade Abiodun is sharing right now.
All right, then let's get to the next story, shall we? Talking about shortage, that's what Asu is saying. There's this Japa syndrome is depleting us. But the thing is, do we even have data to match the number of people who have left, except from looking at sectors, perhaps education and health, to saying specifically what number of our lecturers have left the country. I know that NMA is good with giving us updates as to the number of doctors who come into the fold and the ones who take exams and the ones who eventually leave, and nurses and the likes of you. You have an idea of what you're missing with the health sector and the number of people who leave. Asu, we were waiting for that figure. Well, I need to get back to that. He was talking about 100 lecturers had left the university while the union. He was talking about
that was in Guzo, Zamfara State.
In Guzo, Zamfara State. And Zamfara State is in the news, not for a good reason anyway. At least 100 people abducted, one killed by gunmen in that place. It was obviously a massacre, what happened there with the bandits. And he's saying, that's one story. Let's speed on with this one.
All right.
First.
So universities in Nigeria are battling a severe shortage of staff as thousands of lecturers leave the institutions to seek greener pastures in foreign lands amid the high number of retirements at the varsities. ASU branches in separate interviews have added and confirmed that the shortage was due to the surge and the exit of lecturers out of Nigeria and the concerns around the integrated personnel and payroll information system, IPPIS. ASU at the Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, said about 100 lecturers had left, while the union at the Federal University Guzo, Zamfara State, disclosed that the institution was in need of about 1,000 lecturers to fill vacancies created by those who left. While in Abeokuta, Ogun State, about 350 academic vacancies are available, while 27 lecturers had left 2 faculties at Unilag.
Wow.
As 100 workers at UniUyo traveled out of the country. So we're seeing like in all of the universities, the numbers are
we're
rising.
getting the numbers adding up right now, because I know there was an interview sometime back and they weren't quite giving the figure. So I think they've gone back to collate, give us a mental picture of what we're missing at this point. And then the UK is even talking about, this one, even though they're referring to student dependent and all of that, that Nigeria has the highest international student dependent in 4 years. So it paints a picture of how people are moving also if they go to some of this country, for example, the UK.
Yes, I know in the past we used to talk about, when I was in school, then there was this issue of brain drain issue, the Nigerian, the best of us moving out, for greener pastures. I can't believe it that many years later, we are still talking about even in a worst case scenario. So not just teachers, other areas. This correlates with recent data released by the British Immigration Service, where it noted their high level of migrants arriving in UK. Out of that, after India, Nigeria takes the next, of high-skilled workers. They talk about for all those migrants, about 31% of them are high-skilled workers. And when we are talking about high-skilled, we're talking about the best of us living the workforce, going for. So after India, you see Nigeria, and they calculated in Nigeria that the number of Nigerian skilled workers that migrated UK are higher than all the European countries combined that entered UK. Then the next percentage is 34%. 34% is the highest, students. And after the same percentage, Indians and Nigerians are the highest. Then the skilled workers, 34%. Then within that 34%, you have the dependents that also following those going to.
And with the UK says we have the highest.
And we are just talking about UK alone. We've not talked about Canada. We've not talked about US.
US have not been taking quite a lot. You understand the procedure for the US has made it almost impossible.
But still, that's where I'm going to. We've not talked about this. These are regular migrants. Regular migrants. Then we'll not talk about irregular migrants, those we tend to tag, is it illegal or something. But according to UN, there's nothing like illegal. So irregular migrants that we don't document. That are in various from Dubai, that's UAE, to Saudi Arabia, Middle East, to Malaysia, Far East Asia, and then the rest of the world. So most Nigerians are living in drug. And look at the impact. So it's telling us that when the best of us are living, then what are you getting? You are getting the average or less average ones teaching.
No, but we're still here. We can't make it sound as if the best brains of all are leaving while the residue are left behind. It feels like
those who are left are the best brains.
Exactly.
What we're saying is that those who are left behind are overburdened.
Okay. Better put.
If you check every institution, you find out that the works that are left for the experts, those who are left behind, who can really handle the work, are enormous. So you find out that, okay, the best, the good ones that are still left are left with so much work to do. And it will impact on your whatever, even if you like, be the iron mic or whatever, it still affects you in one way or the other in your output. So that's what we're saying, that you check the hospital pay number of doctors or nurses according to the UN standard or the WHO standard, you find out that we are short of that. The same thing with number of teachers, pay how many students. You find out that we are short of that. That's what we are talking about. So let's assume now we have like 10 good doctors, 10 good teachers, 10 good brokers, journalists or whatever, then 6 or 5 or even 4 left. It means that 6 are doing the work 10 supposed to do, or 5 is doing work 10 supposed to do, or 4 is doing the work that 10 supposed to do. That 4 or 5 or 6 that are left may not do to their utmost capacity because of the volume of the work they have to do. This is what we are saying. We are not saying that those that are left are not good or enough. We are saying that part of our good ones are leaving. So, and it's affecting when you are saying, okay, country is developing country, 20 years they are still developing country, 50 years they are still developing country, 70 years they are still developing country. Go back and check why. This is why. And you look at those countries that are called developed. Why are they developed? They are taking the best from the rest of the world. Take China. Why is China developing today? They send their best to all those developed countries. At the end, they encourage them to come back. Those who made China what they are today are those students that they sent to US, sent to all those Western countries to go and study a system, and then encourage them to come back. And they give back what they have learned and adapted it to their own local, using their own local nuances, and then prepare their country. The same thing that is happening in India. But Nigeria, they never return because the environment is not conducive.
Some do.
Some do, but not all. So this is what we are saying. Yes, it's good to be patriotic to say all these things.
No, it's not about patriotism.
That's what I'm saying.
I know a number of people who have gone and come back. And I know a number of people who didn't intend to stay back but decided,
but
this environment works for me.
Those who have come back, are they really... when you interview them, have you interviewed them?
No,
are they
but
comfortable?
There are people, Senator, who go there purely for academic reason to a large capacity, and they intend to come back, and they do come back. Yes,
they do come back. Have you interviewed them to find out if them coming back, that the system they find is conducive for them? Or conducive? Let not just say for them, because somehow they may be the privileged among those that are remaining. Because those that come back, either they come back, become senators, become politicians, become one thing or the other, appointed into one. We are still talking about the 5% or 2% of the elite. We're talking of in general terms. How is the system? So maybe those they came back based on some promises and they are given some privileged position. You can't use that to judge the overall percentage of Nigerian doctors' condition, Nigerian nurses' condition, Nigerian teachers' condition, and overall health sector or the education sector. We're saying that things are not going well.
Well, if we're looking at it from sectoral perspective, yes. I can understand where you're coming from, because some sectors, we see health workers who are very deliberate about what they want for themselves. Work environment, remuneration, and the likes of it is not favorable. So they go to environment where it's better, and there's a tendency to stay there longer. This one of education sector is one that, we're going to keep our eyes on to seeing the trend of it, because ASU is now giving us a picture of how many of them are leaving. And we know that there are quite a number of Nigerians in some of these, even Ivy League universities around the world. Nigerians are doing so well. You'd be surprised that a number of them who are professors. They know Nigerians, we love to read. So we go there, we acquire an education or two and climb up the ladder.
Yes, that's
but aside from looking at it from sector, because there's always that impression that people are jackpot and it feels like the country is empty. And we're just too many and too dense to look at it from that perspective. But if we're looking at sectors like education and health, then we'd have an argument and perhaps start to interrogate how to fix it.
Yes, because you can't look at this thing and keep quiet and start peppering it or becoming too, how will I call it? Because in the realm of you want to be patriotic and you ignore these facts, because over time these things builds. You can't see the best living and you say, okay, it's all good. No, there's nothing wrong. Human beings, we all migrate. Even from those advanced countries, their citizens also migrate.
They're coming,
if they take the number of UK, as Nigerians are going to UK, the UK are migrating to US and Canada, where they are higher pay. Do you understand? So it's natural. But we are saying the degree, the percentage of which, okay, let me come down to even use a personal example. My wife patronizes National Hospital a lot. Me, I don't like it because you go there, you wait, you all those kind of things. But my wife believes that you have the most experienced
the consultants are there.
Consultant there. So even when she get bed, I saw reason there. But 2 years or 3 years after, there was this time they had this long strike. I found out that something has changed. The nurses, they are more angry. They are angry. The doctors, the same thing. So they don't even attend to. So something, recently I told her to go to another hospital I don't want to mention because of advert thing. So she insisted she wanted to go there, and she came back complaining. And I said, I told you so. Something was amiss after that strike. And there was this her friend that was even in that hospital. we're there within that space of, we've had like 4 of them left. Some to Canada, some to UK. Do you understand? And then when you go there, what you are seeing is students, those that just graduated, that just, so things are never the same. So I'm just giving my own personal experience. So over time, this thing builds up. So you cannot continue to say, look at, no, it doesn't matter. It matters. Over time, it begins to affect the system itself. So in education, if teachers continue, lecturers continue to leave, yes, we are producing more, but we are the people there to also, train those ones that we are producing. Even those that are coming up, their number one priority is to go. So those who are left is maybe one or there are those like me. I say, no matter what, I still want to stay in Nigeria. I prefer I travel, stay in holiday. Not that I've not had opportunity to Japan, but I don't know if I can leave any other climb.
I guess one said that, and today he's
yes,
not here.
If not here. Do you understand? So, but there are those who are leaving. We can't ignore that.
All right.
But I mean, I want to get to the point of recruitment, because it's as though once these people leave their positions, there is no one to fill in the space. But then there are a lot of Nigerians who are knowledgeable and are able to take up those jobs. But there's no recruitment that flows through wherein there's a replacement for everybody who is either ill or leaves the job or retires and all of that. And there's that vacuum created. Now, how can we get to a point where that brain drain is not overwhelming? Like we're seeing it right now. People are leaving every other day to seek greener pastures. And you can't fault them for that, because then they want the best for themselves.
It's natural. Yes. So this also comes to the issue of corruption. You're talking about recruitment process. I think the last administration was the worst case scenario, whereby before you can actually advertise and the people who are qualified can apply. But this day, within that last 8 years, I don't know, this current administration is too young for me to pass judgment on that. But what was the norm then is that you only apply based on the letter you brought from one senator or from one governor or from one emir or from one traditional ruler, not whether you are qualified. So, and this is what we are having in our system. So apart from the people leaving, is that the system itself is, the corruption has eaten deep, that even the recruitment process is not sound. It's not I don't know the correct language to use it now. Those who are eventually, employed, whether they are the right people, and this adds to the frustration of those who are actually leaving. So as they are leaving, the gaps that are left, are they filled by the right people? So that's why you overall you find out that the indices are getting negative in our health sector, in our education system, in every other system. And at the end, this adds to the developing status or underdeveloped status we are seeing. So you may look at these things from an isolated perspective, but they all add to the overall structure. That's why you find that some of us, when we are young, they say youth are the leaders of tomorrow. Now we're even getting to grandpa stage. They are still saying youth are the leaders of tomorrow. That's why you still see a country 70 years after, they are still developing. 100 years, they are still developing. When are you going to move from that stage of developing to develop, or underdeveloped, even developing? It's because of this. Because when you're supposed to move from one state to another, you find out 2 steps forward, 3 steps backward. So I'm just giving to these gaps you are seeing, this recruitment, these spaces, that they are not filled properly. Even though that the other day, the governor of Anambra State, some few years or when he took over or before he took over, he said that the problem is that in Nigeria, though people attacked him, he said that most of the graduates are unemployable.
Quite a number of people have said that.
Yes. So this unemployable is not actually the fault of those it's because they are not properly trained. The system itself most times most of us is even after we left school, we start training on the job. You hone your skill.
But
so
this same people, sorry to cut you short, this same people leave Nigeria to other countries and are literally doing well. So what does this say about us?
Yes, because the system. So one good thing, because out of every, they say adversity is something is the mother of invention. So the good thing about out of every negative situation, there's always positive to abuse your resilience. So what this system makes you to abuse that you can survive in every environment. It's just like someone who doesn't speak English. It doesn't mean that the person is illiterate. It means that or not intelligent. Like our grandmothers who doesn't speak English, they have native intelligence that isn't even superior to yours. The only thing is that you speak English that they are not exposed to. It doesn't mean that if they are exposed to the same opportunity, they can do better than you. It's the same thing. That the system is answering to your question that Nigerians who break traffic light, break all these things, why is it that if they go to this, they pay? Because there are laws to punish you if you do that. So if they go to a system, you go to Nigerian university, people, and what fella sang, 99 standing, how many sitting? You go to Nigerian lecture hall, those who are outside are more than those who are inside. Even those who are inside, more that are sitting on the floor, they are more sitting on the floor than those who are actually sitting on a seat provided for. So, and you do that, graduate. It means that if you can survive in that environment, if you are put in a system where it's normal, it's functional, your natural ability, your natural intellect that embedded in
survival instinct
will come out. Coupled with the survival instinct. That's what they are doing well.
All right.
And that's what we are saying. We need to bring such kind of thing back home so that we can input it into our economy so that our economy can thrive.
All right. Let's take a call quickly before we go for the news, and then we'll take some more. Here, this caller has been waiting.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kim.
Welcome.
My name is Ibrahim, and also let me address some issues on some of your guests. Honestly, like the way they are bashing Nigeria, I've never seen them negative at all points. I studied in UK for my master's degree, and 4 of my roommates are all British. 3 of them, after graduation, 2 went to Australia to settle, to get job there and settle. 1 moved to Hong Kong. So it's normal. Every part of the world, people move around. But Nigeria will like to make little things as a problem, always criticize our country. We don't look inward. What have they done to improve the system? What have they done? It's not just to criticize. It's easy to criticize system, yes. And every country that you know in the world are suffering from one thing or the other. And the big nations always have their way. It's like the same. Abuja and Lagos have influx of best friends. Why? Because
all right.
It's normal.
All right, Ibrahim. Thank you very much. We need to run for the news. Ibrahim, thank you for sharing your take with us. We'll go for the news at the top of the hour, and we'll hear more after the word. Stay with us.
This is Nigeria Info.